Assalamualaikum everyone. Good evening. We are still waiting for our Assalamualaikum everyone. We are still waiting for the professor. Can you hear me? Hello? No sound. Oh, probably. Unmute. Okay. Assalamualaikum everyone.
Hello.
Good evening. It's 9 p.m. in Malaysia. So while we are waiting for professor, is our professor
Yes, I am
there? Yeah, okay. Already there. Okay. Assalamualaikum, Professor.
Waalaikumsalam.
Hope you're fine. And
Yes, I am fine. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
What about you?
Good. Very good. All right. Assalamualaikum and good evening, everyone. I am Fatmawati Lambo, the moderator for the webinar today. First of all, I would like to welcome and thank you for joining our today's webinar on expert guidelines for research students and their supervisors. This event is being organized by the Bangladeshi Students Union Malaysia and Education and Research Desk. Before we move to our webinar, I would like to inform all of you, if you have any questions regarding on today's webinar, you may type in the chat box and I will read your questions during the sharing session. I'm sure everyone is excited to today's talk, and the speaker for today's webinar is Professor Dr. Saidur Rahman. And let me introduce our speaker. Professor Dr. Saidur Rahman is currently working as a distinguished research professor and head of the Research Center for Nano-Materials and Energy Technology and RCN MET, School of Engineering and Technology, Sunway University, Malaysia. He is also working with Lancaster University as a full professor. Previously, he worked as a chair professor at the Center of Research Excellence in Renewable Energy at King Fahd University of Petroleum and Minerals, KFUPM, Saudi Arabia. Prior to joining KFUPM, Professor Saidur worked 18 years in University of Malaya. Clarivate Analytics Thomson Reuters awarded him highly cited researcher for being among the top 1% researchers for most cited documents in his research field for 8 consecutive years, that is from 2014 to 2021. And in 2019, Professor Saidur won Vice Chancellor's Award for Achievement in Research from Sunway University. Professor Saidur published more than 600 journal papers, mostly in top-ranking high-impact journals. He has 66,678 citations with an H index of 133, according to Google Scholar Citation. He has supervised more than 80 postgraduate students so far and has secured and managed more than 25 million ringgit research grant, that is approximately 5.5 million USD, as a PI and member. Professor Saidur is working in the area of emerging nanomaterials and their applications in energy storage, heat transfer, solar energy harvesting, and environmental remediation. Let's now proceed to listen to our speaker's presentation. Without further delay, the floor is yours, Prof.
Thank you, Fatmawati, for the introduction. Assalamualaikum and hello everyone.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.
Let me share my screen first. Can you see the screen? Is it visible? Is it in PowerPoint mode?
Yes, Prof. Visible, Prof.
Okay, okay. Thank you, participants. I can see around close to 50 participants. Looks good. Okay. So as Fatmawati mentioned, I have some experience. I work in University of Malaya, where I established my strong foundation in research. As you know, University of Malaya is one of the best university, premier university, top university. So where actually I grow, I established my research capabilities over there. And then I was also sometime in King Fahd University and now at Sunway University with Lancaster University with joint appointment. And also I'm happy to share that even the private university, as you can see, it is #1 in ASEAN. So there are many interesting things here. That's why I have joined this private university, and overall very impressive lab facilities, some other opportunities given. Okay, anyway, so let's focus our main agenda. That is, as you can see, the guidelines for research students and their supervisors. So basically, I'll be sharing my experience. So as Fatmawati mentioned, I have supervised almost 80 to 90 students. Some of them are doing very well in Australia, US, Canada, and even some of them are also in top administrative positions like dean, pro vice chancellors, and so on. Okay, so that's actually the uniqueness of my presentation here. So maybe around 1 hour, I'll be sharing my experiences, okay, as much as possible. And if you have questions, better you put in the chat box so that I can read and Fatmawati also can recite. I'll try my best to give some answer. Okay, let me go ahead. So these are some of the things I'll be talking here because time is limited. We may not be able to spend too much time, but I think this will be some of the points I can highlight, and then later on also I'll be sharing my YouTube channel because time is always limited, but the channel is never limited. One-stop center, one-stop opportunities where you can explore at any time at your convenient time.
Yes.
Okay, so when we are talking about this supervision, PhD studies, master studies, higher studies, sometimes I feel you don't have proper preparation and planning. As a result, sometimes some students take 10 years, 15 years. So I was in so I remember one student from neighboring countries of Malaysia spent almost 15 years to complete his or her PhD studies. That's extremely bad practice, certainly. So if you know if you make a good plan, this will help you to finish in time. Sometimes also we call it graduation on time. You may have scholarship for 3 years. So you need a very good planning. Otherwise, you cannot finish within 3 years and you need to pay from your own pocket. Okay, so to avoid all this, you need a good preparation and planning. Then proposal. What I mean is candidature defense. You need a proposal. Some universities, private universities, somewhere also needed work completion seminars. Okay. So as a student, you need to know some of the requirements. So one slide also will highlight some of the requirements with respect to Malaysian practice, but all these are also practice all over the world. Okay. It may vary some point to point, but in general, I'll be sharing the global practice because I'm working with all over with the collaboration with all over the world. Okay. And I know some of the practices in US, Australia, and Canada. And when we talk about this thesis, supervision, student higher studies, writing is very, very important. So you need to write your thesis, you need to write number of papers, you need to write your proposals, you need to write your progress report. So writing is very, very important. Okay. So even though writing is communication skill, but there are other skills also. This communication skill is extremely important because you are going to communicate your results to scientific community, with the panel members, with your supervisors, with the collaborators. So if you don't know how to write, how to speak, how to address the comments, so you will be in big troubles. Even though you are a very good student, your results are outstanding, breakthrough, but if you cannot write it properly, if you cannot draw it properly, if you cannot express your good things so that other non-science-based people also cannot understand, then sometimes you will not be considered as a good researcher. So these skills are not only for your thesis, I think for your job also, this communication skill is extremely important. Once you finish your master's, PhD, so you'll go for interview. So in that interview, actually, you need to speak, you need to present, so you need to sell your research. So if your communication skill is very poor, I can tell you that you will be in a great difficult situation to get a good job. Okay? Also, when you will be finishing your PhD masters, you'll be joining as a lecturer. So you need to talk, you need to give a lecture, right? So if students cannot understand, if you cannot convince them, if you cannot speak well, if you cannot present well, student will complain because there is a feedback form. Okay, if students are not satisfied, they will report to the university management, to head of the department, to the dean, and you will be in big troubles. Okay, so communication skill is also very important. These are the best place, time during your master's, PhD to improve your communication skill. So one of my students, I have supervised many students. So one of my students is a good researcher, but his communication skill is weak. So I have been persistently telling him that it will be a problem for you. So I told him every day you don't need to spend 2 hours, 3 hours, at least 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you spend every day to improve. So he is trying that. Rather than saying that after finishing my master's, PhD, I'll focus. No, that is not good practice. Good practice is regularly you spend little bit of time consistently. That will help you to overcome some of your challenges. Okay. And since this is a research, you cannot work alone. So you see, when people publish paper, you'll see there are sometimes 4 people, 10 people, even Science in Nature, 100 people are there, right? And sometimes maybe you don't have some of the equipment in your lab with your supervisors. Sometimes maybe some of the topics or subtopics are not within your areas. Maybe let's say statistical analysis or some material characterization analysis. Your supervisor is not that strong, you are not that strong. So you need to find someone who can help you to overcome all those challenges. So collaboration is also very, very important. Financial scholarships, so for higher studies, normally these are also issues, challenges. So if time allows, I'll be talking on these things also. Okay. And also finally, it is very important for higher studies, you need the necessary resources, lab, databases, for example, publication databases, LCBR, Science Direct, Opus, Web of Science, for the different analysis, and particularly to download the necessary papers. Without downloading, without available paper, actually you cannot conduct critical review of literature, you cannot identify your novelties, you cannot design your projects. So many challenges will be because of this proofread. Particularly, all these are very important. So based on my experience, sometimes researchers, even supervisors also design a project in such a way that it is very what is called the dreaming project, but sometimes they don't know that they don't have some of the equipment, lab facilities, materials, and as a result, student suffers. And sometimes they change the topic. So these are bad practices. So whenever we take our students, I ask the students, I have a video on my lab. So please visit, watch that video, and then prepare a proposal aligned with the available resources we have in our lab. If you design a project that cannot be completed,
the recording has stopped.
Generated, data cannot be generated, then you will be in big troubles. Okay, so these are very important issues you need to understand, you need to plan. So this is also under the plan. When you are planning, you need to ask your supervisor also, do we have all the necessary equipment to conduct research on this topic?
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, now let me talk about the preparation and planning. So here, three things I'm talking: research topics, objectives, regular meeting, timeline. Sorry, not three things, 4 points. So why research topic is important? Today, as you know, when you are in social media, probably you will see that a lot of discussion on high impact research, citation impact, H index, right? So when I was doing my research during my master's on household appliances, after finishing that, I was thinking that this is not that impactful research. Okay. So if research topics are not strong, not attractive, not with the global grand challenge areas, hot topics, actually it will not give you much impact. Okay, so since I started my research on household appliances and I feel that this topic is not that
The recording
highly
has
impact,
stopped.
I slowly moved to high impact research topics once I finished both my master's and PhD. For example, as you can see, I'm working in the area of nanomaterials. So these are some of the new recipes. Solar energy, renewable energy. I also do homework. Who
This
are
meeting is
top
being
researchers
recorded.
around the world, who are who has top citation, who are publishing in high impact journals. By doing that homework, I tune my topics that will give the impact. Okay, so that's why research topic is very important. And I also have a video in my YouTube channel, how to find a high impact research topics. Okay. Then you need your objectives of your thesis, of your overall plan and goal. So as you can see, objectives are SMART objectives defined here. So why objectives? Objectives are your goal for this 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So if you don't have goal, you don't know where you will be reaching. Okay. So this is what I call the boundary. So when we start our research with my PhD student, master student, first of all, we discuss about the objectives, some draft objectives, 2, 3, 4 objectives. And I told them, these are your boundaries at this moment. These are corner of the sea. You cannot cross that border without my permission. Okay, because if you cross that border, it will be ocean. So you will get lost. Okay, so these are boundaries to confine so that student can focus. Okay, without a boundary, you cannot plan, you cannot make your future goals. Okay, so these objectives are also very important, and objectives are defined by SMART objectives. So today I will not talk much about this writing, all these things, little bit of this, some of these things, planning, some guides, some tips. So overall discussions will be there. So for more understanding about the writing SMART objectives, so you can watch some of the videos in my YouTube channel, writing with better impact. Okay, so these are called the SMART objectives. Okay, you will find more details in my YouTube channel. And also, sometimes you don't have good planning. So as a result, when there is a time to submit your candidature defense, progress meeting, 6-month report, then actually you face difficulties if you don't have this regular meeting. So as I mentioned, I have supervised around 80 plus students. So it is one of my uniqueness. In most cases, actually, I regularly meet with my students. So when I was in University of Malaya, I had around 30 students regularly I supervise. So every week, actually, I meet with them. Okay. And as a result, I can make the plan. And this is also the role of supervisor. So today's topic is not only for students. I think it is the role of supervisor also. These are very important things. If you don't regularly meet with the students, if you don't give them guideline, if you don't tell your expectation, if you don't ask them to make a good plan, what they are going to do today, tomorrow, this week, after 15 days, 1 month. So if you don't meet them and if you don't give the proper guideline, again, they will get lost. So these are also responsibility of the supervisors to make regular meeting. Okay, so it can be face-to-face, it can be online, it can be verbal, it can be by email communication also. You can do WhatsApp communication also. Different ways actually you can communicate. So it does not mean that you need to meet always face-to-face. Different way you can do that. And this is very important thing. And through this actually you can identify strength, weakness, potential students, weak students, and as a result, as a supervisor, you can make a very good plan. So by doing this, actually, I identify the very good student, strong students, and then I don't need to spend much time with the strong students. I need to spend more time with the weak students. Okay, so these are some of the weaknesses, some of the strengths, some of the challenges, some of the unique points actually can be identified through these regular meetings. Also, any KPI, any future plan also whether students are doing well, submitting in time or not, regular meeting actually will ensure this. So these are very important things. Sometimes student supervisors both never met for 6 months, 1 year, and when there is a time to submit a report, you are rushing, you don't have necessary things, so you will be in big troubles. And this also will make you non-compliance. Okay, so please make a good plan with the regular meeting and other things. And also timeline, I mean, when you are going to prepare your review paper, when you are going to submit your candidature defense, when you are going to conduct experiment, when you are going to conduct your literature review. So all those details, timelines for your 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you make it, and time to time you revise it, because timeline cannot be fixed exactly. Okay, so this is changeable. Time to time you update and you discuss with your supervisor so that it is up to date. Okay, planning, time management. So if you have good plan, so you provide there 2 months, 3 months, and at the end of this critical review of literature, you also will produce a review paper and will be submitted. Okay, so you provide a rational or reasonable amount of time for every activities. Okay, monitor your own progress. As you know, sometimes supervisors are very busy professors. Maybe it will be hard for you to find every day. In that case, you make your own KPI, own timeline, and monitor your progress by yourself. Okay, this is also one of my uniqueness. Anything I want to plan, I make my own timeline, and I see. Let's say I will develop a proposal within a month. So after 1 week, I'll see how much is my progress with my team members, and then every week we will meet and we'll see how is the progress. So at the end of the month, we'll ensure that these things are done. Okay, meaning that you make your own monitoring progress in case supervisors are busy. Of course, if supervisor is very active, he will or she will ensure that you are progressing well. You are fulfilling all the necessary activities, conducting all the activities along with that timeline. Okay, make your own KPI, such as first draft of a paper, a conference paper, developing or refining objectives, when you will file a patent, prototype, conference paper. So PhD has a lot of activities, right? So with all those activities, make your own plan. Attend seminar, conferences, and other things, and also be familiar. What are the elements? What are the activities? What are the things that you need to do for your PhD and masters, right? Writing a review paper, design of experiments. So all these activities, identify, list, discuss with your supervisors, with your collaborators, and make a timeline, and monitor your progress by yourself. Okay, self-monitoring, self-management is the best management. Okay. So this is an example of a timeline. So you can put 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. So phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, different way actually you can make your overall timeline. Let's say you are a PhD student, so you make a target for 3 years. Okay, so when you will define your title, when you will do your coursework, research methodology, literature review, proposal defense. Okay, objective 1, objective 2, objective 3, when you are going to conduct your experiments, so when you are going to attend conference. So with all those relevant activities associated with your PhD and masters, you make the activities and then you make your timeline. Okay, and also some milestone, probably after 6 months, you will put a timeline for a milestone that you submit a review papers. Okay, so make your own activities and timeline, and monitor always. Don't always wait for your source. In consultation with the students, you develop in such a way so that you can monitor, you can see the progress, and it can be revised so that progress is well. Okay, it's not too far, it's not too much deviated from the some actual plan. So it can be plus minus 5%, 10% deviation, but it should not be too much deviation. So the next part is the writing. This is actually the most important part and very challenging for non-native English speakers, right? Like Middle Eastern students, ASEAN students, because we are not born as a native English speaker. And you need to be involved in writing a paper. So when you are writing a paper, sometimes it is not one paper, two paper, maybe 3, 4, 5 papers. And this is actually lifelong practice. You need to improve your writing for your paper, candidature, defense, report, thesis. So it is extremely important. So in most cases, actually, the candidates, researchers face difficulties in writing in English. As you know, research is conducted is in English. So your writing paper, your grammar, structures are very, very poor. So when you are going to write all this in high impact journals, certainly if your writing is not good, it will not be attractive, it will not be clear, it will not be manageable. You cannot convince the editors, reviewers, and as a result, paper will be rejected. Your thesis also will be in big troubles. All evaluators, panel members also will feel very, very upset if it is very poorly written. Okay, so that's why writing is very, very important. So those who are from non-native English speakers countries always spend time on improving writing. So let me share my example. So when I was enrolled in my undergraduate in Bangladesh University of Engineering and Technology, so it is conducted in English. So first few weeks, I was very difficult situation, challenging situation due to English, because I was studying all my high school, college in my own mother tongue language, even though there are some subjects. So since it is very, the getting chance in BUET is actually really something very prestigious. So I also cannot go back. I also cannot stop. So I started to improve the English. How to improve? So I started to read the English newspaper. I use at that time dictionaries. Every day I spend half an hour, 1 hour. Initial few days it was extremely difficult to go through the dictionaries, and even one sentence, sometimes it took around 10 minutes. But after 1 week, after 15 days, and even after 6 months, I did not need the dictionary again. And also not only that dictionary, I also spend a lot of time in reading newspaper, because newspaper is the storehouse, and that actually English newspaper reading helped me extensively to improve my English language. Okay, and regularly I purchase English newspaper in my hostel, so I can read at any convenient time, because common room or in the university level, sometimes resources are close, maybe after 6 or 7. But if I buy my own newspaper, I can practice it at my convenient time, even when I'm sleeping, taking a rest. So this is how I improve my language, and even nowadays also I learn. Okay, and now it is very convenient to learn. So it is very important. So you need to focus, particularly those who are weak in writing. You need to spend time. This is also communication skill. So why it is important for your paper, thesis, report, proposal, so on, and also when you are going to submit a written documents for your job, for your promotion, for your other purposes, if it is very poor, I'm sure that you will face difficulties. Okay. So these are some of the requirements at the university level. Let me drink water. Fatmawati, everything okay? Can you listen?
Yes, Prof. Everything's okay.
All right, very good. So this is an example with respect to Malaysia, but it may vary from country to country, university to university. Slightly, some of the things may change. So with respect to Malaysian in top universities, normally Scopus or Web of Science Index journals, for example, University of Malaya, you need to publish 2 papers in ISI Web of Science. Okay, so these are the requirements. Without fulfilling these requirements, you cannot be graduated. You can submit your thesis, but final degree cannot be conferred without fulfilling this requirement. And some university let's say in UK, US, may not require this publication. But to me, I think these are very important, even though not required, but you always focus on publication because these are best training. So today I'm distinguished professor. I was chair professor among the top 10 professors because of this one of the focus of publication. My supervisor every day knock me, push me, any paper accepted, rejected. Okay, so that now I can say that because of that pushing, actually, I was focused on research. I was very much on research. And as a result, you see my profile. You see now my designation, as you can see, because of one of the reason is actually extensively focused on the publication. Okay, so even though in some universities it is not compulsory, but you make your own KPI. And also when you are going for a job, looking for a job, without this publication also, I don't think anyone will consider you. Unless you prove yourself extraordinary candidate by providing discussion, some other results and so on. And also these are written documents, and also it's when it is published, anyone can see. So that's why these are very important things. Okay. And also the progress report. So monthly progress report, 6-month progress report, progress with the supervisor. These are also required. Okay. So as far as I know, if you are under scholarship, you need to submit your progress report so that your scholarships are renewed. Okay. So please, that's why I say that timeline, making good plan is very, very important. These are the things sometimes you ask your supervisors, ask the coordinator, associate dean with your respective universities, what are the requirements? Sometimes they also will give you program handbook, okay? And there also will be administrative officer. For example, at Sunway University, we have administrative officer for the postgraduate. He or she will give you the necessary guideline so that you know. And if you also don't know, sometimes ask them, okay? And also with respect to Malaysian higher studies, you need to complete your research methodology. This is in most cases a theoretical courses, like what I am talking here. This is about the research methodology, how you will conduct your research. But like in North American, Australian, US, Canada, they may have some theoretical courses. Very comprehensive examinations are also needed. Okay, so along with research methodology, some of the courses, theoretical courses, for example, heat transfer, thermodynamics, computation and analysis, some additional courses also will be there. Okay, you need to fulfill that requirement as well. So seminar, so it can be candidature defense, it can be work completion seminar, it can be seminar before submitting your thesis. Okay, it can be also like a conference where you present. Okay, sometimes at the university level also. So in different cases, these types of seminar actually will help you to improve your communication skill, to share your good things so that, you know, other people also will be able to give some feedback, comment so that you can improve. So these are good practice along with the publication in top ranked journal. Okay, so candidature defense after 6 months or within a year, you need to submit your candidature defense report so that committee can see your progress and you are allowed to continue. So you need to know when and how to prepare this. You work with your supervisor. So I work with the university administrator so that in due course of time, you can complete your candidature defense. Without completing this, actually, you cannot proceed to the next step. So these are some of the requirements. If candidature defense is not completed, maybe you also cannot submit your thesis. Okay. All the necessary requirement from the handbook, from the postgraduate office of the respective universities, try to understand, try to get the necessary information so that you fulfill all the requirements. Okay. Sometimes you also need to complete the ethical courses, ethic-related courses. All those also you need to do. And most importantly, external, internal examination also is, you know, as you know, the for PhD and masters, this is evaluation. These are very, very important. This is basically your final exam. Okay. So here will be external, internal examiners in your respective field. It can be from locally, it can be outside. Okay, it can be combination. So these are expert people. They will evaluate your thesis. Okay, and there will be written comment. There will be written exam. There will be examination by the panel members, and there will be also viva. Okay, So this is very important. So that's why your communication skill is very, very important. Presentation skill, speaking skill, writing skill, PowerPoint presentation skill with the animation, some video is very, very important. Okay, and you need to able to answer the question. So you have to have also very listening capabilities. You have to understand what type of question they ask. Okay, so these are the requirement, and you need to get ready for this thing. So particularly this Viva is very, very important. Even though your written things are good, but if you cannot answer some of the questions, so it might be something difficult. Okay, so that's why you need to practice. You need to attend particularly the conference, seminars, and also I think when you submit a paper in journals, reviewer gave you comments. So same types of comments, maybe panel members, examiners also may ask. So these by publishing, by attending seminar, actually you are getting ready. You are preparing yourself for this Viva, for your PhD and masters, and even for your job. Okay, so this Viva also, similar types of Viva also when you are going for interview, right? So normally, if you don't have experience in presenting, first time Viva, you will feel hesitant, you will feel burnout. Actually, without a good practice, sometimes you cannot speak well. So I know many good students also cannot speak well. So as a result, they are not selected. So make a long-term plan to improve your communication skill, particularly the speaking skill, presentation skill, and so on. Okay. In some university, I think these are also practiced. There are called Toastmaster Club. There are also some students voluntary committees. They also organize seminars. So don't focus only your writing, thesis, publication, also focus on this improving your communication skill. So in one slide, I'll talk more about that communication skill. And also, as you know, there are sometimes contents are similar. So plagiarism may be an issue. Okay? So be familiar, try to understand the definition of these content similarities and use content similarity software to improve this. So that content similarities are very, very minor. And also take note that content similarity tools also cannot detect your image, figure in JPEG form. So only text can be detected. So these are the things also you have to be careful. So this is just some simple way of defining a thesis, one or two slides. So what is a thesis is written? Those who are new probably, for them, I'm trying to define it. So it is a written record of work that has been undertaken by a candidate, guided by a supervisor. So a thesis must be guided by a supervisor. Many times students ask, can I submit, can I work without a supervisor? No, because you are not experienced enough. So supervisors are experienced, so you need to be guided by someone. A thesis is a long piece of writing, okay, 100 pages, 200 pages, 300 pages, okay, on your own ideas and research that you do. It is your own major contribution. Thesis particularly, of course, when you write a paper, many other authors also involved. University degree, especially for higher degree, such as a PhD. Okay, a short thesis, whether undergraduate or postgraduate, is evidence of candidate's capacity to carry out work independently. This is very important word. Okay, if you want to be a good researcher, you need to work independently with less guidance. That's the best practice. Okay, a very good student, potential student, will be very lightly dependent on their supervisors. Okay, so this is one of the unique capabilities. Characteristics of good researchers should be independent with a minimum guidance, meaning that you can do all the things by your own. You can spend a lot of time to learn, to improve, to attend, okay, without the guidance. Of course, if there are good guidance supervisors, it is good. But as you know, supervisor sometimes is very busy, sometimes may not get enough time. In that case, this independent research capability is extremely important. Okay. Guidance and analyze, communicate. So you see the communication is very, very important. Significant parts of your results to your supervisors, to the editors, to the review panels. So that's why this is very important. And also analyze. You need to critically analyze your results. That is very important. And mastery of your literature. So that's why I mentioned critical review of literature. You know, mastery meaning that even you know more than your supervisors. Okay, so that's why these are the things also question will be asked. during candidature defense, during the Viva, how much knowledge you gain, whether you are a master on that topics or not. So that's why a lot of question, even layman types question, simple question, non-technical question also will be asked. So preparation for your Viva, for your candidature defense is very important. Okay, so you have to demonstrate that you are master on in the literature on that topics. Indicate clearly which is her original work. If you want to be a good researcher, if you want to make a strong thesis, this is very unique point that your work must be original. Okay. So recently I have given a seminar on addressing novelty. Okay. So videos also uploaded in my YouTube channel. Okay. It is very, very important. Without that, you cannot be a prolific researcher. You cannot publish your paper. You cannot publish your thesis. Examiners, panel members always will be asking, what is the originality? So when you present, highlight originality as strong as possible. Okay. When you submit a paper for journal, you write 1 paragraph, 2 paragraphs, strongly highlighting that my work has extremely high originality. As a result, you will not face difficulties to publish in strong journal, good quality journal, particularly high impact journals. Okay. So these are some examples of novelties. Discovery is something new, something different. So again, all these are also explained in my YouTube channel videos. Writing with better impact. Okay, so these are some tips, guidelines also. As you know, what are the expectations from your supervisors? They want you to be independent, sincere, responsive. Whatever KPI activities are given to you, let's say now you are given to work on critical review of literatures. Even let's say that after 15 days, you will develop skeleton, develop content. And before even 15 days, you have developed your table of content. You are not lazy. Okay. You did not drag it 2 months. Okay. So these are very important things. Otherwise, you cannot submit your thesis on time. Within 3 years, you cannot. So if you drag yourself, if you are not sincere, responsive, actually it will take 4 years, 5 years. Okay. So you cannot join your future career also. Okay. So it is very, very important. Independent, less guided. Okay. These are actually the unique characteristics as I discussed in the earlier slides also. Try to understand what is expected by your supervisors, university. So some of the guidelines I have mentioned. So for example, so strong supervisor, good supervisors always will be looking for not your only behavior, most importantly, your progress, technical progress, writing paper, addressing novelties, writing a critical review, designing your project, or PhD, very strong with innovative ideas. Okay. So try to mind map what is actually supervisor is expecting. If he wants you to meet regularly, okay, fulfill that requirement. If he wants you to publish a paper within 2 or 3 months, try your best. Okay. And university requirement I shared. So this is very important. So that's why I have provided here one important slide, communication skill. And earlier also I talked a little bit more about this communication skill. So this is one of the top skills needed in this 21st century. Whether you will be an academician, whether you will be working at the industry or entrepreneur, this communication skill is extremely important. Okay. So what are the elements of communication? So you need to write. That is also part of communication. Okay. So as I mentioned, you need to write your paper, thesis, proposal, progress report. So that's why I mentioned improving your English writing capabilities is very, very important. So if you are poor, if you from Middle Eastern countries, if you from non-native English speakers, your undergraduate study was not in English, I think you attend some courses, 4 months, 6 months, you go for IELTS, TOEFL, and regularly read the English newspaper, speak with other people. Okay, even in sorry, in YouTube channel also there are some maybe videos. You watch them, how to improve your writing also. Okay. So spoken, normally this is the gray area. This is the difficult areas. Many of us, even though writing is good, but we cannot speak well. Even though can speak, but it is broken, it is accent, but you have to talk like, you know, anyone can understand. Okay. So again, you need a lot of practice on this. Okay. So you need to speak with your supervisors, committee member, panel member, audience, news, social media. So you have very good results, very nice results, but now you are going to communicate with the social media. You don't know how to speak with them. You cannot sell your ideas. Okay. And also you have to be a good researcher so that you can communicate with the non-science people also. Then your research will be, you'll be a very, very good researcher. Okay. You need to communicate email with supervisor, editors, reviewer, collaborators, others. So you need to learn also how to okay, presenting in conference, meeting face to face. So these are the areas where you need a lot of communication skills. Okay, so how to improve? As I mentioned, learning English must. Okay, it is not one day practice, it is not 1 hour practice, it is a continuous practice. I would suggest those who are weak, you spend half an hour, 1 hour every day. If you are still moderate, I think still you can spend maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes as you need. Never stop. Okay. Reading, writing, spoken, listening, IELTS also go for IELTS, TOEFL, some university courses, for example, Malaysian English test, okay, any other English courses, you go and improve, learn. And as I mentioned, newspaper is actually one of the best way. This is actually the not surface. If you go IELTS, TOEFL, this is for the sake of your admission. It will not make you strong, okay, even though you got IELTS very good rating. To me, I think the original or root ways, the most important approach is actually if you read newspaper every day regularly. This not only for you English language, I think that some of the other knowledge also you can improve by reading this newspaper. Okay, so these are best practices. Reading high quality papers. So when you are reading, because newspapers and scientific papers are different. So you read them and also try to understand. Social media, YouTube, online seminars. So not only that, I think also attend seminars to improve your, how the people speak, how they present. Okay, so try to identify the best presenter. In YouTube, for example, you see someone's presentation is 10 million viewed. Okay, this is something unique. So that actually will tell you, or you will get some ideas. Oh, this presentation is very, very good. So their content, their style, their videos, their animations, speaking. These are the ways basically to learn. Okay, this is the practice I do. As I mentioned, I explored who are the best researchers in my area, what is his citation index, what is his H index, and then I follow them. Okay. And also when you speak, I think know your audience, technical people, non-technical people. So when you go conference, there will be non-technical people also, there will be maybe newspaper, there may be politicians. So try to understand how to convince them, okay? I mean, how to impress them. So you have very good technical results. Technical people knows, but you need to convince some non-technical people for getting a job or to get to get some funding. Sometimes when you are, it is associated with the funding, some non-technical people also involved. Let's say secretary from ministry or someone, politician. So if you can convince them, if you can write the content in a non-scientific way, I'm sure that everybody will be impressed. And as a result, you will win your projects. Okay. So I hope you understand the importance of communication skill. So these are other skills. Since we don't have time, I have video in my YouTube channel, this critical thinking. So research is basically critical thinking, right? Without critical thinking, we cannot go into deeper of your problem, novelties, critical review of literature, critical interpretation. It is very important. So in a summarized way, critical thinking is asking question to identify your root causes 4, 5, 6 times. Again and again, ask question. Why, what, how, when, why not this way? Why this is expensive? Why this problem? How? Okay, ask question again and again until you enter into the deeper cause. That is critical thinking. Without being a critical thinker, you cannot be a good researcher. So this critical thinking is not only good for your thesis. I think if you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be a businessman, you want to be a good mother to take care of your children has problem. So you need to critically think, critically identify what is the root cause. If you want to be a good father, you need to critically think to guide your children. Let's say they are not studying. So you need to critically think what might be the reason. Okay. So as I mentioned, the teamwork is also very important. Collaboration is also very important. Research cannot be done by one person. Okay, you always need the other people who are experts for resources, for writing, for communication, many other purposes. Without a collaboration, you cannot be a prolific researcher. Okay, you may not have necessary resources also. Even though, for example, in our lab at Sunway University, we have impressive lab, but still we need some of the equipment from other universities. And as I mentioned, lifelong learning is very, very important. Okay, you never stop learning. And best motivation is the self-motivation. Okay, this is the way that I work. I don't need motivation from others. I always make my own plan, KPI, own criteria. Okay, so let's say I managed to publish in impact factor 10, 12. Then I make my own KPI, own motivation that I'll publish papers in impact factor 20, 30. That's how we managed already. Okay, I try to manage myself, okay, by myself. So when I face extreme difficulties, of course, I got some motivation, those who are expert, who are good in that areas. Okay, when I face some challenges, I feel that I'm not expert, I don't have enough knowledge, then probably I talk with my friend. For example, recently I faced some of the personal problem, then I need to go and talk with the human resource. Okay, and then I need to go even to report to the police, and even I need to go to to solve the problem, to recruit the lawyer. Okay, because I'm not expert in that case. Okay, so this will be my last slide. With some other slides may not go so much. So as I mentioned, if you want to do a good research, you need resources. So actually, sometimes without thinking all these necessary resources, you design your project and it will drag you, and maybe also you need to abandon your project because you don't have some of the equipment, some of the resources. So without thinking, without proper planning, if you design your project, at the end, it is something like very, it is dreamy project. Maybe it will take 4 years, 10 years, 8 years, and some of the equipment don't have, and maybe after starting few months, 6 months or 1 year, you feel that this is not feasible. And as a result, you need to change the topics. After 1 year, if you need to change the topics, I'm sure that these are the bad practices, and this happens. This will create frustration for you. And as a result, maybe you will abandon, you'll stop your PhD and master's. Okay? So this is extremely, particularly my team is extremely careful. Any student we take, we gave them, these are our equipment, these are some of the topics you have to work within this boundary. You cannot design a project that cannot be completed without, that cannot be completed by our resources that we have in our lab. Yes, of course, let's say we don't have SEM, FISM. Yes, we can use some other universities, okay, provided that we have some resources, we have some money for that, okay. So equipment, software, computer tools, when you are designing, you see that whether all these are there or not. Materials, consumables, paper, thesis, databases, okay. So you need to download all these necessary things. Collaboration, as I mentioned, language capability, turn it in, EndNote also, when you are writing a thesis, review paper, so you need to learn EndNote also, okay. Not only that, I think that some drawing of figures, visual figures, for example, Origin, some computational software also you can use to draw your good figures. Okay, there may be many other things also. Okay, so these are important things also. Before designing your research, you need to be careful with these things. So talk with your supervisors, talk with other researchers in your team, and design a project such that it is achievable. That is the SMART objectives defined. Achievable, realistic, reasonable. It is not dreamy. Okay, it is a PhD project, so 3 objectives is enough, but you design it such a way that it is 5 objectives equivalent to 4 PhD, 2 PhD. So those are the things actually you need to think here also. Okay, so this slide is very important. So peer review process, as you can see, your thesis, your paper will go through reviewer number 1, reviewer number 2, sometimes can be 4, 5 reviewers. It can be first review, second review, third review, and so on. Okay. So there can be examiner 1, 2, 3, board members, panel members. As you can see, they are in front of you to stop you. Actually not stop, to ensure the quality, right? These are the big people, top people, world-class people, you see. they are in front of you, actually to ensure that quality is there, to guide you, to train you, to make you better. That's why this peer review process is very important. So before submitting a thesis, so if you publish 4 or 5 papers, so you see now you are already familiar with the examination process. So that's why I would say that this publication process is actually one of the best practice. If you go thesis submission without this peer review process, I think you'll face a lot of difficulties. Okay. So I have a video in my YouTube channel, how to address reviewer comments, how to avoid rejections. So you can watch those videos as well. So these I will not go more details. Maybe we'll spend some time on the discussion. So these are basically writing, how to write your thesis candidate defense. So I have video in my YouTube channel. Please explore more in my YouTube channel. I'll share that. How to write attractive abstract, okay? How to write introduction. These are smart objectives. Bloom's taxonomy will help you to address the depth and breadthness of your objectives. So in that video, so you'll find more details. Okay, so this is actually extremely important wow factor. So recently I organized a workshop seminar. I think you watch in my YouTube channel, how to address novelty, identify and address novelty. So it was around 1 hour seminar.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so this is how to address critical review of literature. Let me go through quickly. These are the things actually you watch from my YouTube channel. Okay, so this is my YouTube channel. So YouTube at the end, as you can see, at the rate Saidur 912. Okay, so you can find it. You can put my name also there, Saidur Rahman. You'll find this. Okay, so these are some of the contents. I have 32 videos, all as you can see, critical thinking in research, how to select your PhD and master topics. This is also part of today's discussion, how to address challenging review comments, how to avoid paper rejection, citation impact, attractive admission proposal. This is also for your PhD, before joining PhD, how to select high impact topics. As I mentioned, citation impact is very important. Topic is very important, writing a strong cover letter, secrets of writing research grant proposal. So 32 videos, and how to go for interview, also how to prepare documents for interview. So as you know, I have 26 years of experience, and many researchers are continuously requesting me to share my experience. And since I am also trained by getting the taxpayers' money, so I am happy, I am obliged to share my experiences. These are one-stop center, and you don't need to pay anything to watch this video, okay? And I don't have intention to charge also. As I mentioned, I want to inspire young researchers. That is my main goal, target, intention, also for collaboration purpose. So you can watch the videos in my YouTube channel at your convenient time. And as you can see, time is always limited. So it's almost 1 hour. Okay, so that's all. So those who want to communicate with me, want to collaborate with me, want to work with me, want to use our lab facilities. For your information, we have very impressive lab. We spent 5 million Malaysian ringgit to build the lab. So you can find in my YouTube channels also opportunities at RCNMet, and we also have a PhD program, scholarship around 3,000 ringgit per month, very impressive scholarships. So all those details also in my YouTube channel. And those who want to communicate with me, this is my email address. This is the best way to communicate with me. With that, I would like to conclude my presentation. So let me see the comments. Okay, so maybe Padmawati, you can highlight some of the questions also. Okay, yeah, that's all about the presentation. Now you can share your challenge. What are the challenges you face with your supervisors, with your writing? So, okay, so we can spend some time here to discuss, okay, to address your questions. Okay, please.
All right, Prof. We have one question here from YouTube, our YouTube channel. From each Chan. Hi, Prof. I have 2 questions. For the first one, as we were given SV by the university, how do we know in short time that our SV, our supervisor, is a good one?
Yeah, it is a good question. recently I posted a short tips in my LinkedIn and Facebook also. I specifically mentioned how to select good supervisors. So what is the purpose? You are trying to get a training, right? A supervisor who can give you the best training. Now, how to know that whether he or she is a good supervisor, right? So you need to see that where he published, whether he has a publication. So you see his Google Scholar citation. You can see citation, you can see H index, and where he or she publish. Then you can see his lab facilities. Of course, he published in good quality journal. He must have good lab facilities. And if you cannot identify that, I think this is where you can ask his team member, you can visit his lab. Okay. So these are some of the ways. And also probably when he give any seminar you attend, and you are, let's say, trying to looking for a supervisor. So you found that this supervisor in University of Malaya or Sunway University. So wherever he give a talk, seminar, for example, I have my YouTube channel, you watch that, where I publish, what is my H index, citation index. So you explore my Scopus profile, you explore my explore the papers I published in Science Direct, and also maybe some other supervisors, also some other, particularly I think with some students, they know much more than others about the supervisors. So if you can, these are again, as I mentioned, if you start collaboration where you want to study your higher studies, before starting, I think this will make you able to identify your best supervisors, identify whether their supervisors are strong, good, whether necessary things he or she has, and maybe also that supervisor is really good to take care of students or not. Okay, I think maybe you can set for an interview or discussion, or maybe you send an email, you start to WhatsApp. Through that also you'll feel that how good, if good supervisor, he will communicate, he will give you the guideline. So for example, if someone want to work with me, so I take his WhatsApp number, I share my YouTube channel, I share the resources, opportunities we have. So continuously we start, I think this will convince the student, okay, this supervisor is really very, very helpful. Okay. And if supervisor, you send an email, you send a WhatsApp message, he does not reply, he does not give you the guideline. So definitely you will feel that, okay, this is not the right person for me. Okay. I hope that answered the question.
Okay, Prof. The second one from Ichan. We are supposed to embrace technology advancements such as AI. How to keep our originality while keeping up with the technology?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yes, sure. We are supposed to embrace technology advancements such as AI. How to keep our originality while keeping up with the technology?
Yeah, I think the originality is nothing with the technology. Yes, technologies are coming, new technologies coming, meaning that these are the new things. So when we talk about to address or to understand the novelties, so it's not with the technology, it is with the critical review of literatures. So technologies are coming and challenges are also coming, right? And whatever technologies they are, no technology is perfect. So that imperfection is the actually originality, novelties you need to address, you need to improve. For example, you develop a material, but still it is expensive. So you need to reduce the cost. For example, the electric vehicles, this is the latest technology, right? So how much energy can be stored? Vehicle can run, let's say, 500 kilometers. So why not try to make it vehicle run without charging 1,000 kilometers? Right, so you can address these novelties by critical review of literature. Let's say AI, let's say electric vehicle. Some papers are published, some technologies are developed. Right, you go through, you read that technology, you read all those papers, 10 papers, 5 papers, 100 papers, and then you see what are the technology gap. Nothing is perfect. As I give example, so they use certain materials, but this material is expensive. So you make an attempt to reduce cost by 10%. Electric vehicle. So charging, it takes long time. So you are going to develop a technology that will charge faster. Okay, I hope that answer your question.
All right, Prof. Another one from Jannah Muhammad, that is from our Zoom. I have some paper with supervisor name and some not in PhD time. The other paper not including supervisor name is any benefit for PhD or counting. Could you tell me please how many publication need for PhD in UGC in Bangladesh, sir?
Okay, so the two questions.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned, I cannot tell you the other universities required, right? So you have to, where you are enrolled, you go and ask that administrator, associate dean, or who are involved in that postgraduate department. Ask them, get the guideline, okay, whether papers needed, one paper, scopus paper, or index paper, get from there. I cannot give you that answer. That is your responsibility. Okay, so this is normally during orientation. Some university will highlight these are the requirements, or program leader, program committee members actually can tell you with that respective. So as I mentioned, it can vary from university to university. Let's say 100 university in Bangladesh. How I know that? I don't know. Okay, so I also don't do research in Bangladesh, so I don't know that requirement. So please do by yourself. Okay. Second point is that some papers are before starting a PhD. If all those are relevant with your PhD, yes, it might be useful. So I cannot again give you the right answer. So this committee will decide how much similar, and also I think that if, as you mentioned, also can I publish also something without supervisor? So if it is your previous work, you don't want to involve your supervisors.
The recording has
you.
stopped.
If
This
you
meeting is
want
being
to
recorded.
involve your supervisor and it is aligned with your thesis topics, I think it is good you involve your supervisor and publish together. So these are again, you need to mutually discuss with your supervisor, resolve these issues, okay, whether you want to publish with supervisors or without supervisors, okay? You make your own good plan.
All right. Okay, the last one, Prof. Please, how do I secure fully funded scholarship from your university? This is from Suraja Ibrahim.
Yeah, as I mentioned, we have a fully funded PhD program, 3,000 ringgit per month. So you can watch video in my YouTube channel, Opportunities at RC and MAT. You will find each and every details, and also in LinkedIn, I think our president, many other schools also shared that scholarship, fully funded scholarship available, but with the criteria. If you are looking for fully funded PhD, so for your master's, you need CGPA 3.5 and one Scopus Index journal. These are the two most important criteria. Without this, you are not eligible. If you are eligible, then you need to write a proposal, you need to fill the form, you need to go through 3 interviews. One with your supervisor and his team, then with the school level interview, and then final university level. So it is not an easy, because 3,000 ringgit scholarship, very impressive scholarship. Okay, and those who are want to do PhD with direct entry, direct from undergraduate, yes, if CGPA is 3.67 and above, you are entitled for this fully funded PhD. Okay, CGPA undergraduate 3.67 and above. But you need to go through some special evaluation process, because you don't have publication, you're also undergraduate. That extra committee evaluation need to go through. Okay, yes. We have this fully funded scholarship. Okay, you can explore in my YouTube channel and also in my social media platform for more details.
Okay, Prof. I guess this is the last one. Hi, Prof. I have completed my PhD and working as a lecturer, and publication is part of KPI. My question is, where do I start? This is from Hawa.
So he has completed his PhD, started as a lecturer.
Yes.
Now he want to start his publication.
The publication is part of the KPI. The question is, where do I start?
Yeah, so I don't know if you already have completed your master PhD, you are a lecturer, so you already started during your PhD, so why you stop? If you stop, I think you have to improve your momentum. Anyway, so now is the, again, you need to make your good plan. I also have a very good video in my YouTube channel, Research Strategy. That one actually will help you extensively, but let me briefly tell you. So I hope you have some content from your PhD. That content actually now you can refine, you can update, Probably if you need further testing, generate new results, you do that, and you start to publish. Okay, you create your momentum. This is one thing. And since you are a lecturer, so you will be able to supervise some of the undergraduate students. This is what I practiced when I was in University of Malaya. I had around 5 to 10 students, undergraduate students. So at least 2 to 3 topics I gave in such a way that this. Okay, so before giving the project, you need to do a lot of homework. This is where to start. You need to do homework, meaning that identify that project will be strong novelty. Okay, study some literature, identify some hot topic that will be also good for your research, citation impact. Okay, you design a project that with strong novelty, with the wow factor, will give some impact, and that is publishable. And give it to the students, monitor the students, work with the students, achieve some results, and then the undergraduate students work, which is hard to publish. You need to be involved. You refine it, you modify it, spend a lot of time. Okay, but some data actually student can produce that actually will reduce your time. Okay, by refining, by improving, I think you can publish. If not possible in Q1, I managed to publish in Q1 journal from undergraduate students' work. If you cannot publish in Q1 journal, I think no harm to publish in
The recording has
or
stopped.
Q2 and Q3. Okay, and then also slowly.
This meeting is being recorded.
You are working in a university, try to identify the resources. For example, if you, let's say, my colleague at Sun University School of so me too opportunities we have. Okay, work with the people, those who have the necessary resources, who are like-minded, who can help you to generate data. This is your university level. Also, you start to collaborate with other universities where like-minded necessary resources are there. Start to collaborate with them. Approach them. Okay, I'm working in this area. I want to work on this review paper. I have some data. Okay, let's work together. Okay, so these are various ways actually you can start, and also start applying for research funding. Okay, big funding, major funding, internal funding, external funding, and put the PhD and master students in that proposal. Okay, some funding. So if you get that funding, I'm sure that it will be very convenient for you to run that project. Okay, you'll be able to supervise students. You'll be able to publish a paper. So funding is actually extremely important. Okay, to start something, to do research. Okay, so as I was in University of Malaya, so my career profile actually was enriched when I got that high impact research of 3.6 million in University of Malaya. And I designed in such a way that, I can recruit many students, and it was very, very successful. It was University of Malaya, most of the students from Bangladesh, top universities, good students, potential students. I was very young, spent time with the students as if I am also students. I used to work 18 hours, sometimes maybe 24 hours, even up to 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock a.m. night. Okay, this is how I build my career. Okay, so I hope I have given you enough answer. If you can digest, I think it will be very, very good. And also watch a video in my YouTube channel, Research Strategy for Early Career Research. Okay.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Okay, so this is a short note for everyone. We don't have evaluation form for this webinar, but we will use registration form for certificate. All right, so yes, Prof, I guess we have reached the end of the webinar. And we would like to thank Professor Saidur for the very insightful talk, very mind-blowing, and also the Bangladeshi Students Union Malaysia, as well as Education and Research Desk. Till we meet again, Assalamualaikum and good night. Thank you very much.
Thank
Prof.
you. I hope it will be useful. Okay.
Yes. Prof.
See you sometime later.
Inshallah.
Okay. Thank you.
Allah,
Bye.
thank you.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Inshallah.
Ata. Ata hijau. Ata kan? Ata koyak. Lagi macam keluar belah.